Please do me a favor, share with me your name of your business, and where you're located.
So I'm Devan Gonzalez, and my business is Strive 11 International or Strive 11 Fitness, for the local business. And I'm located in Los Angeles, California.
All right. Well, thank you again. Strive 11 Fitness. Tell me more about it.
So it's a boot camp style model gym, right? And I launched in June of 2021, but we launched the franchise aspect of it last year. But it's a boot camp style fitness concept that has no class times, right? So traditional models, you have to book a class, you show up at a scheduled time. Whereas we've kind of got rid of all of that and over booking classes, you can't get the schedule that you want. Come in at your own time, and you still get that same experience that you would at a boot camp.
Oh, wow. Okay. So no times. And
Mhm.
then you just come in and you just work out.
Exactly. And then, I mean, each
Wow.
each day there's a workout of the day essentially. That every day is a different muscle split. Each week has different muscle splits. But when you come in, you're essentially getting the feeling the energy from a group like boot camp, but then you're
Uh-huh.
getting the customization and tailored workouts like you would have a personal trainer.
Nice. I like that. So it started in 2021
Hmm.
and then currently going, and then you became a franchisable business again in when?
Last year.
Last year. Okay. How many have opened?
So we have Tampa, Florida, which will be opening in 2 weeks, and then
Okay.
we have Mansfield, Texas. So I know Texas is huge, but at least it's in your home state. Um, and they'll be opening roughly around July this year.
Oh, that's exciting. I love that for you. So when you first started all of this, tell me about your vision.
So, I mean, I was a personal trainer for a decade and a half, 15ish years, and I would have my clients go to these boot camps in between our sessions because to be honest, a lot of clients wouldn't follow the homeworks that I would write out.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fine, go to these group classes in between. And over the course of those 10-15 years, members were coming back and complaining about different problems that they had with the boot camps, and they're all the same problems with different companies. So my vision for it was like, why are all these different models, when you break it down, running pretty much the same business model, and there's no variation? Like they all have the same
Mhm.
core problems. I
Yeah.
was like, are these core problems not solvable? Which is not likely in my, from what I've understood about problems. There's always a solution,
Yeah.
and or is it just that this model works, we can do it too, and so forth. And that's what it turned out to be. But it did take a year and a half, 2 years before even opening our first location, of testing and trying and testing and trying. I mean, luckily we had, and I know I say luckily, but it sounds bad. But when COVID happened, right? I actually ran the program in the park on the tail end of COVID for a year, and I utilized the park. I was like, I have an unlimited square footage essentially. If I
Yeah.
can't get this model to work here, there's no way I can bring this into a 2,000 square foot, location.
Yeah. So that's crazy because you're right. I think I always tell everybody COVID either made you or broke you.
Hmm.
And I love the fact that I get to talk to people such as yourself that own a business that says it gave me the opportunity to sit back, reflect, and see what I can do without all the tools that I had prior to. And you utilized the park. You was like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna make this work. And so from there, you decided to go ahead and open up the 2,000 square foot building.
Hmm.
And then what did it take for you to actually move forward? You've already did the trial and error, so what now?
So, I mean, I definitely bootstrapped a lot of it in the beginning, and I had a former business partner that started with me, and it was just us two, right? And so we pretty much tested and tried a lot of things. Once we got into the location, you also had to make some adjustments, and that's the main thing with like running a business is you could have a business plan, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go according to plan. I can almost
Yeah.
guarantee it probably won't go according to plan. But you adjust and you adapt and you keep moving forward. And so we adjusted some things, moved some things around, adjusted where the equipment was stationed and so forth, and got it to kind of go. The next big step was essentially hiring, a team, hiring a staff, which was that biggest hurdle, in my opinion, of being an entrepreneur. Because before my gym, I had a personal training company that I mean, I was making six figures as a personal trainer, all in person, not no online.
Yeah.
And that I was a solopreneur, right? And
Yeah.
so all of a sudden you hire a team and you have to give over the reins a little bit. I think that was one of the biggest like adjustments.
But I wonder what's your why.
Honestly, it's one of my core values in the gym too, and this is what when I hire people, even with franchisees, like if this isn't part of your core values, then look, I just don't think it's going to be a good fit. But it's to have a positive impact on as many lives as I can while I can. Right. So if a new business venture or a new, event or something to attend doesn't have that intertwined into it, then I just don't do
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And when it comes to trying to get others to franchise the business and their business, your business, or what does that process even look like? They reach out to you, you reach out to them?
So they reach out to us, and we have basically two different PowerPoint presentations that we go through. My whole thing is a level of transparency. When
Mm,
I was a personal trainer and looking to open a business, I was going to open a franchise. And now being on the other side and being the franchisor, I realized that there's a lot of stuff that franchises hide in the fine print. And
mhm,
so when we get a lead, I tell them all the information that they should know, whether they go with us or whether they don't go with us. Like, hey, make sure you ask these questions, right? I'll give you our answers, but make sure you also ask these questions to whatever franchise you're going into, because these are like numbers that affect your business and affect your income,
yeah,
right? So, um, but they reach out to us and we do the first one, show them what the model is, and then they submit a form that kind of shows us their like unofficial financials, so that if we need to refer them to a financial expert to kind of and a financial strategist to help them, you know, get get aligned with that, they do so alongside what we're doing.
yeah.
Because I mean, the worst thing is, and I learned this right in the beginning of franchising, is I had someone get all the way to the end. They're like, all right, perfect, let's do it. How do I afford this? And I was like, wait, what do you mean? And then so we do that in the beginning just in case. And then the next presentation just goes into essentially, what does the franchise onboarding process look like? What does it look like with our real estate team that helps you find a location,
Mhm,
negotiate, all that stuff? And then, we come out there for your grand opening. We actually are there for a week
mhm,
and we actually help your team, train your team. We're working in your business with you. And then we have like a track to earnings, which is weekly calls after the fact, getting you up and running and make sure everything's going smooth. So it's a fairly easy process. The biggest step for people though is like the presentations are awesome, but the last step before any contract is signed is like you have to come out to our headquarters so we can meet face to face. But
mhm,
I want you to see the business model, right? I feel it.
mm,
We don't sign agreements that day. I know a lot of franchises like to use their discovery days, what they call it, to sign agreements, get you all hyped up. And for us, I let them know ahead of time. No agreements will be signed that day. Don't be waiting for a pitch. Nothing's coming. I want this day to be all about you. Just feel it out. We'll reconnect once you get back home and all the emotions have kind of like settled down a little bit.
yeah, yeah. I like that because it's no pressure, no pressure whatsoever. Just come meet me. And then I do believe that there's something different when you meet someone face to face. You get a like an emotional feeling, or if that's truly what they desire to do. And I know that you've been a fitness instructor, now you own a business, but there's a story. There's a story, and I want to hear the story behind your why. How did you end up a fitness instructor?
I mean, I was a martial arts instructor at the age of 13. And when I went into college, it was, I was going in for business management. And I think that was just like my undeclared, instead of actually marking undeclared. But
Yeah.
then I learned about kinesiology and I was like, wait, I can get a degree in this. This is way more fun. And at the time I had just became a personal trainer at, a big corporate gym. And I was like, this is so much more cool and fun than accounting. So did that. And the whole time my parents were telling me like to get a career and stuff. So I was working
Mhm.
at becoming a firefighter, but I didn't really have a passion or really a drive for it. I was just kind of going through the steps. And by the time I graduated, I was already making six figures. And I was like, why am I
Yeah.
going to quit doing this to start working minimum wage to build my resume to make six figures again, doing something I don't like, or
Yeah.
not that I don't like, but that I don't have a passion for it. It
Yeah.
just didn't make sense to me. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna bet on myself and dive all in on this. And seeing my clients have success in their transformations just filled my cup. Like it didn't feel like work.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's that saying? Do something that you love so you don't feel like you work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And that's actually what you're doing.
Mhm.
Interesting enough, I this is just a random thought. Do you still work out now that you have all these gyms?
Yeah, no, I do. I mean, I will say that it's just as hard for me as it is for every single member to get their workout in. I mean, being at the gym all day long, even though I'm in the back offices or working on the gyms and stuff, it's still just as hard. There's a million other things
Yeah.
that I could do. And don't get me wrong, I've been guilty of it, especially with launching the franchise, where all of a sudden everyone's like, "Man, are you leaning out?" And I was like, "No, I'm I'm deteriorating." But I didn't tell anyone that, but it was that realization for even for myself is you can get wrapped up in, building something or wrapped up in, let's say, a new relationship and put
Yeah.
what's really important on the back burner. And once I started, making it just important to work out for myself, I realized everything else started falling in line because for me, that was always my outlet. And
Yeah.
so I took away my outlet to build, and it was, every little thing just seemed like a bigger fire than it was.
Does this also come with products as well, or is it
Yeah.
just fitness?
So I mean, we do have meal plan software. We have the merch and supplements and body composition scans and heart rate technologies and all the other little bells and whistles as well. We really try to keep the model of a whole encompassing aspect of fitness, not just hey, get a great workout, you feel good, you look good, your clothes fit better. It's like no, like, I want to know the numbers. I want
Yeah.
you to know the numbers because if you know the numbers and I know the numbers, we can adjust the program to make sure that you continue to see results.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.